Have you ever noticed how some people can ruin your entire day with just one sentence, one text, one look? It's like they have a remote control for your emotions. They press a button, and boom, you're stressed, guilty, angry, or doubting yourself. But here's the truth. Toxic people can't control you anymore. The reason might surprise you. For a long time, you probably thought they had power over you. Maybe it was that friend who always made jokes about you, or that coworker who subtly undermined you in meetings, or even a family member who mastered the art of guilt trips. It's after everything I've done for you. Sound familiar? Toxic people don't control you because they're strong. They control you because they understand your triggers. That's it. They know which emotional buttons to press. Guilt, fear, insecurity, approval. Once you see that clearly, their magic trick stops working. Think about it like this. If someone keeps stepping on your foot and you never move your foot, who's really in control? The moment you move your foot, the game changes. Most toxic people operate in patterns. They criticize, then play victim. They insult, then say, "You're too sensitive." They demand, then say you're selfish if you refuse. It's predictable once you step back and look at it. Here's why they can't control you anymore. First, you're aware now. Awareness is power. When you start noticing patterns, you stop reacting automatically. Instead of getting angry instantly, you pause. Instead of defending yourself for 20 minutes, you say, "Okay," and move on. That one small pause, it's powerful. It breaks the cycle. Second, you've realized that not every reaction deserves your energy. Toxic people feed off reactions. Drama is their fuel. If you argue back, explain yourself endlessly, or try to prove them wrong, you're basically handing them popcorn and saying, "Here's tonight's entertainment." But when you stay calm, when you don't take the bait, it confuses them. It's almost funny. They expect fireworks, and you give them silence. Let's say someone says, "Wow, you've changed." And they say it like it's an insult. You might panic. Did I change? Am I worse? Should I go back to how I was? The new you smiles and says, "Yeah, I have." End of story. No explanation, no apology. That's growth. Third, you've stopped trying to win their approval. This is a big one. Toxic control only works when you care deeply about being liked or accepted by that person. The moment you stop chasing their approval, they lose leverage. It's like trying to blackmail someone with secrets they no longer care about. There's nothing to hold over you. Now let's talk about guilt. Toxic people are experts at guilt. They'll remind you of favors from 5 years ago. They'll say things like, "I guess I'll just do it myself," in that dramatic voice. Suddenly, you feel like the villain in a movie. But here's something important. Guilt is not always a sign you're wrong. Sometimes it's just a sign you're setting a boundary for the first time. The first time you say no, it feels uncomfortable. The second time, a little easier. By the 5th time, it feels normal. Suddenly you realize something shocking. The world didn't end. You didn't explode. You didn't lose your entire identity. You just protected your time and energy. And that's when toxic people start losing control. They might try harder at first. More pressure, more drama, maybe even silent treatment. But silence from a toxic person, that's not punishment. It's peace. Let's be honest. Some of us stayed stuck because we were afraid of conflict. We'd rather be uncomfortable quietly than deal with someone's anger. But avoiding conflict doesn't create peace. It creates slow resentment. When you start speaking calmly and clearly, "That doesn't work for me. I'm not comfortable with that. No, thank you." Something shifts. You feel stronger, lighter, more stable. You also realize something else. Their reaction is not your responsibility. If someone gets angry because you set a boundary, that doesn't mean the boundary is wrong. It just means they were benefiting from you having none. Let's use a simple example. Imagine you always answer your friends' late-night calls, every single time. One day you decide to stop answering after 10 p.m. Suddenly they say, "Wow, you don't care about me anymore." Really? Or are they just upset they lost 24/7's access to you? That's not cruelty. That's balance. Another reason toxic people can't control you anymore is because you've stopped believing everything they say. Just because someone says you're selfish doesn't make it true. Just because they say you're dramatic doesn't make it fact. You've learned to check in with yourself instead of automatically accepting their version of reality. That's emotional maturity. And here's the ironic part. When you stop reacting emotionally, they often get more emotional. When you stay calm, they get louder. When you stay steady, they get frustrated. Why? Because control only works when there's chaos. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to expose them publicly. You don't need revenge. The biggest power move is emotional detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting someone else's behavior decide your mood. Imagine someone throws a ball at you. You have two choices: catch it or let it drop. Not every emotional ball needs to be caught. Now, this doesn't mean life becomes perfect. Toxic people might still exist around you at work, in extended family, in social circles. The difference is internal. They no longer live rent-free in your head. You start choosing your battles. You stop over-explaining. You stop defending yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. And the funniest part? The more you focus on your own growth, goals, health, confidence, the less time you have for drama. Toxic control fades when your life becomes bigger than their negativity. You build hobbies. You improve your skills. You surround yourself with healthier people. You invest in yourself. Suddenly their words feel small. Here's the truth. Toxic people don't lose control because they change. They lose control because you do. You become less reactive, less desperate for approval. Afraid of being disliked. More confident. It's more aware. More grounded. And once that shift happens, there's no going back. So if you've been feeling stronger lately, calmer, harder to manipulate, that's not an accident. That's growth. You're not cold. You're not heartless. You're not arrogant. You're just done being controlled. And that might be the most powerful place you've ever been. So the next time someone tries to push your buttons, remember you moved your foot. You saw the pattern. You chose your peace. And toxic people? They can't control someone who understands their own worth. If this message resonated with you, hold on to it. Growth is quiet. Strength is subtle. But once you build it, nobody can take it away. Your life is yours again.